The sun has long set, and the fire and lanterns are the only light in the small house in the middle of nowhere. With my head propped on my hand, I look at her, fast asleep on her side facing me, one arm tucked under her head and the other loosely draped across my hip. I take note of the bandage that adorns her ribs, and my hand hovers over the second bandage on her shoulder. Gently, I run my fingers down her arm, stopping at the black ink on her forearm. I loop my finger in circles against the sharp edges of the inverted triangle. The resistance. Something I'm reminded of again and again as I continue to trace the lines of her tattoo. I can't help but notice how peaceful she looks when she sleeps. She doesn't look like the country's most ruthless killer. She doesn't look like a dangerous vigilante or a heartless renegade I'm constantly led to believe she is. She looks like a woman, a beautiful, haunted woman. I thread my fingers through hers and rest our joined hands on my hip, thinking of all the explosives she's built and all the harm they have brought. Of the convoy she just destroyed and the way she easily pulls the triggers of her guns and recklessly throws punches. My fingers slide against hers, and I also think about her rebuilding her home and burying my comrades. The same hands that fished and scavenged for her people and helped plant crops. I think about the gentle way those same callous hands mapped out my body and easily pulled pleasure and release from me. I lower my head and tuck my hand underneath so I'm level with the sleeping woman beside me. My body still thrums with aftershocks, and my mind continues to replay the way Danny shuddered as she murmured my name against my throat. How is it that the one person I'm supposed to hate more than anyone else stirs these beautiful feelings inside me? How can that same woman awaken a part of me that I forgot existed? How can she make me feel beautiful and cared for when she's supposed to hate me? I gently stroke the side of her face, pushing her hair behind her ear. She sighs and leans into the touch, but doesn't wake. It makes me smile. There is so much I want to ask her, and even more that I want to tell her. I want to wake her and kiss her again and confess everything I'm feeling. But I know the burden she carries is heavy, and the weight of it has left her exhausted. So instead, I let her rest. As I finally drift into slumber, I can't help but imagine what a life would be like if we weren't on opposite sides of the war. Would we be able to find peace together? Would we even try? Or is the division the reason for the heightened tension between us? I know we can't keep this up, this fighting and risking everything for a few stolen moments. But here, right now, in this stolen moment, I'm going to allow myself to dream of a life unburdened by war and the happiness I could find living in moments like this every single day. Tonight, I'm going to forget about the bloodshed and the constant battles that rage around us. I'm going to forget that we are supposed to hate each other. I'm going to forget about the convoy and my mother and Simon. I'm going to try to just exist right here, right now. Tonight, I'm going to just forget.